their parents, and we go into our sexual history. So this whole, the second day you're looking at, these are students that I'm exploring my sexuality with. So it's just a different overlay than traditional psychotherapy, sitting in a room with a psychiatrist or psychologist on a couch or a chair. It's a whole, it's set and setting. It's a different set and setting.
Yeah, well, people go so deep. Like, this is just the second day, even in the advanced class, when people have partnered up and they both know everything about each person's history with their parents, and they've actually role-played the nurturing parent for the other, and they're really quite close. And I actually remember even in one of the really advanced classes that we did here, where each evening to do the exercises, people would draw. We had 2 decks of tarot cards, and if they would draw the same higher arcana, they would be partners for whatever the exercises were, and everybody agreed that they were going to have this experience with a sequence of people. Well, lo and behold, after this part of the exercise, after the second day where people are clearing with their parents and their homework is to finish doing that, these people don't want to play the game anymore and have other partners. They want to stick with that partner. That happens again and again. They've really bonded.
However, when people rotate, everybody's a reflection, a mirror to different parts of ourselves. So if you are brave enough to come to Tantra School and agree to rotate, using the cards and going with different people, then you access a different part of yourself. So that's a very profound experience. In fact, I recall one time there was a fellow that everybody was repulsed by him. They just had an immediate reaction to. But that's what voice dialogue is about. That's your disowned self. When you have a strong reaction to somebody, especially negatively, they're your greatest teacher. So when these people that agreed to go into these different sessions with those people that they were repulsed by, they had a greater learning experience than those who kept it safe the whole time. So, and of course, when you don't play it safe the whole time, then there's a tendency for those things to come back and kind of bite you in the ass, so to speak. But if you allow yourself to experience it and then be facilitated and process it, that takes you even into a higher level and a faster growth and evolutionary process than you could as you would have if you just kept it kind of safe the whole time. So you were talking about there was something I wanted to say, add on what you were just saying. Where you were talking about what?
We were talking about how to, one of the things to know is that when this process is all through, you're not going to put your parents down or be down on their case or anything. Because we ultimately put ourselves in our parents' place and see what it was like to be mom and have her parents and what they expected of her, and dad to have his parents, and by mom and dad I mean whatever big people were in charge of you. And you're going to see that they absolutely did the best they could given their background. But first you've got to get any kind of resentments that you've stored in your body or any programs that you keep doing,
right,
either like them or the opposite of them, under control, so you're not on automatic, but you can witness what's coming down and decide whether you're going to react in the old way or not. And we're not telling you not to react in the old ways, but we're just telling you to move to the level of being the chooser about how you respond.
You could be totally cleared with your parents at this point in your life. You may be best friends from now, but you're dealing with the parents that your child had to deal with, or the lack of parents that your child had to deal with. So we know many students that are, their parents are old. They might even be caretaking them as they're ready to transition. And so there's a different relationship than the one that was, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago that you had as a child in relationship to these people that were raising you. So that's what we're dealing with, that because they were in a power position and you were the children and they were the ones that were shaping you. And so that's where the programming went in. You imprinted how they related to each other, whether they kissed or hugged or ignored each other, they fought, if they were drunks or druggies or whatever. You imprinted all that stuff, what religion, what culture, what what society they were in, if they were in a different class or caste or whatever. These things influence you on a core level, and it comes out in your relationships.
And you might even decide you're not going to be like them. You're going to see the example they provided about how big people treat each other, and you might have even gone either to conformity, doing like them, or rebellion. I ain't going to do like that. But once you become centered, you can have the choice of conforming or doing something different depending on your assessment of the situation. So that's what we keep going for, the embracing of the opposites within you. And those opposites... Oh, yes, Janet?
I'd like to, when you're done with this sequence, I'd like to take a break.
Okay.
Are you finished what you were saying?
Okay.
All right, we're going to take a few-minute break here. Thank you very much. We'll be right back in 4 minutes.
Hello again, we're back. So we're going to do one of the exercises that, following the cue sheet that we use in Tantra School, that Janet has gone through so many times, but she gets something out of it every time. And as she does it, we're going to pause, and you can actually mentally go through some of the same things that she's going through as we ask her to relive a time that she was pushed to doing something she didn't want to do, or held back from doing something that she truly wanted to do. And these are things that are really important. This is one of the important themes that we need to reprogram. If you're naturally yourself and you're encouraged to follow your own interests, you'll become who you intrinsically are. Your psychic fingerprint will manifest to a great degree, and you'll be pretty well-rounded. But if you're being held back from doing something that you really want to do, that has the message that you're not okay doing what you really want to do, painting or being on the stage or being an athlete, whatever it is. If you're being held back from it, basically you're getting the message you're not okay intrinsically following your own heart. Or if you're being pushed into doing something, like you got to go to law school or you got to go to medical school when you don't want to do those things, it's the same thing. So push or pull doesn't feel good. Now, first of all, I'm going to take Janet through this reprogramming limits that you've programmed in, and you can do it along with her. But then if you get to our website, which is www, how many W's?
Just three.
Three W's.
We have schooloftantra.com, and we will be posting this up. First of all, we have aquarianradio.com, and that's where we have all the episodes. And we have schooloftantra.com, where we're going to have the ones that relating to Tantra specifically, and schooloftantra.org for those things that deal with counseling. So this Spreaker episode, or this episode, it's going to probably go on Blog Talk as well, will be on both Aquarian Radio, all three, aquarianradio.com, schooloftantra.com, and schoolofcounseling.org. Okay, back to you.
Okay, so the point is that you can follow these cues in detail in some place where you can really emote, make a lot of noise. You're not going to be interrupted. And best of all, if you get a partner to take you through it. But even if you don't, just look at the cues, download them, print them on your printer, and look them over, and then just go through them one at a time. And this is amazing how it will just totally free you up. And so what you're going to do is you're going to relive some time when somebody interfered with you, where they somehow inhibited or fixated you, and you're going to really look at that. And the first thing you do is you relax. Breathe deeply through your mouth and let your belly just relax as you breathe in and out. And what I want you to do, and Janet's going to do it, and you can do it too, remember when someone pushed you into something, perhaps something sexual or romantic that you were not ready for, or when somebody held you back from something you were ready for. So what we're particularly looking in terms of romance and Tantra is when were you pushed faster or in a direction you didn't want to go in, or when were you held back from something that you really wanted to get into. Janet.
Well, for some reason, what I'm going to when you talk about the holding back was when I was very young, I used to masturbate all the time. And my mother would shame me, and so she held me back from my sexual expression. Would you tell it in the present tense,
like it's happening right now? I'm how old? About 4 or 5?
Oh, 3? I'm very young. I'm preschool, so I could be anywhere, 3 or 4.
And so, what is happening specifically?
Well, I'm rubbing up against the edge of the couch. I somehow I experienced some pleasure when that part of my body, when my yoni, my clitoris, brushed against the couch, and then I do it again, and it feels really, really good. and my mother comes in and screams at me.
What does she scream when
she says, "Stop masturbating!" But I don't know what the word means.
Well, so wait, slow down. When she yells, "Stop masturbating!" what emotion does that arouse in you?
Oh, I feel shock. I'm just totally shocked and shut down, and at a certain point, somewhere in all this, I feel ashamed. But I don't recall exactly when it shifted from just a pure shock reaction at somebody yelling at me so intensely, like I had, like I'd done something really wrong.
Okay, so this is what we want to do is focus on the sensations. Here, just a minute before, you're rubbing your yoni and your clitoris against the couch, and you're feeling pleasure. And now, when you feel shock, what happens to the body?
That's a good question. I feel shock. I feel fear. I jump away from the couch.
So fear
fear
got associated with rubbing your yoni.
Yeah, there's some kind of fear response. It goes and the running away and.
Okay, so what I want you to do is to really feel right now the shock, the fear, and when you feel it as much as you possibly can, I want you to tell your mother.